Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hey guys, this is Just One Guy, and I'm back here with another video updating you on the studio I'm trying to start. It's Just One Guy Studio. And this week has been pretty bad for me. I've taken a lot of L's this week on trying to complete this base program for my studio. So the idea here was to create a program which you could rapidly iterate and create any type of game you wanted. Because I had a few game ideas, and what I noticed was I was writing the same code over and over again. So initially I just started to write like reusable code, which is actually the name of this program. But eventually it turned into something like a soft game engine. And eventually, because I use my phone to prototype so much, I just developed a whole development program here. So the idea was to get this done, the dev menu, this week, where I could create all these types of games and modify these settings, save them out, and then come back into the editor later on after I test it out on the phone, and then just create a game. And this has been hell trying to get done. I thought I would be done with all of this. All I had to do is expose all the variables and then do it. But it turns out it was a lot harder than I thought. So I'm going to show you how far I got with it. Now first, click to move pretty much works. You got to click to move. You got your basic attack there. Dodge or jump. I can't remember which buttons I set it to. Dodge. And there's a jump, I just can't remember which button I set it to. But basically that works. Got the rotation of the camera. That was one of the things that really gave me trouble. I planned on using Cinema Machine, but I gotta learn how to use that because this whole time I just wrote my own camera code because I've been using Unity for a while. So I was used to writing my own camera code, but trying to get some of this stuff to work on mobile is pretty hard. And the camera code is one of the things that's just giving me a lot of trouble and where I've taken the most L's at. You can see basically everything works. The health bars and everything work. So let's go into the next one, which is the third person, which is where we run into our first problem. Now this is actually supposed to reset the camera. I'll show you how it's actually supposed to work if I go out of the game. But that's my first error, and this is the first place I'm taking an L because something is wrong with the camera code, and when I set it to third person, it's supposed to be like this, but it's not, and it's really messed up on mobile too. And for some reason, it's different on mobile. I don't know why, so I gotta figure that out. And when I say I took a big L on this, I actually spent a couple of days just working on this camera code alone, trying to get it right and working on mobile. On PC, it works pretty well, and actually, this is one of the places that I had the most trouble. And the reason I had the most trouble is because rotating the camera around is a really complicated experience because you got to know exactly what you're doing with the rotations when you set them right. And this always took me a long period of time in making my other games, and eventually I got it right. But knowing rotation code is actually pretty complicated. But let me just go into the camera control script and I'll show you exactly what gave me trouble. This rotate Y option right here. Because I actually edited out the code, but you can actually rotate on the X axis and the Y axis. And boy, did that Y axis give me trouble. It was really wonky to the point where I just gave up on it for right now, and I'll come back to it later. But as you can see, I have my little health bars here. Everything works in this mode. You can dodge. And all this is controllable. You can control it in different ways. It works with controller, and it works on the touchscreen pretty fine. But the camera code, again, is messed up. It does have a zoom in and zoom out. Let me just allow the zoom. And rotation, and it did have rotation on the y-axis, which is what I planned on doing, but as you can see, that went horribly wrong, so I had to restart it. So that's one of the first L's I took. Top down. This is basically just the same as before, except you can use a controller or the WASD keys instead of using a click to move. And this works fairly well, except on the mobile, the touchscreen buttons don't work, and I'll show you that in a minute. It works on the PC. I don't know why it doesn't work on mobile, and that's one of the biggest problems I'm trying to figure out right now. And the last thing that I just got working was the grid-based movement. And this is basically like if you want to create an XCOM style game. So if I go over here, let me just move him. I have to select the character first, then go over here. And there's still errors because there's a little UI thing that's supposed to pop up, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So that's what I was working on all yesterday. See that little UI thing that tells you where you can go. And even though I created all these systems before, and that's not supposed to happen either, it's supposed to stop right there. So you can see it still got errors. And this is some of the biggest L's I've been taking lately, just trying to get all this to work. But when I do got it working, I'll be able to just create my games with no problem. So that little UI thing is supposed to stop when I click on a tile and basically stay right there. But as you can see, it isn't doing that. And the funny thing is, I spent so long working on this yesterday, like at least 3 or 4 hours, and that problem is still there, and it's just annoying the hell out of me. But the mechanics of it works though. So let me show you the problems with the touchscreen. Now the game can detect which platform it's on. So if you change the platform, let me just go over here, game time, cameras, game settings, close the input manager, the test settings. So right here, if I just switch the input to mobile, and you can see it actually tells me right here. And now when I switch to game type, you can see it tells you in different colors, and it tells you in game. I've actually improved the notification system. So you can see when I switch to it, it tells me right here. But all these buttons that work right here while using the touchscreen do not work on mobile, and I cannot figure out why. So that's the last L I took and trying to figure it out. And I spent at least a week trying to deal with all these problems, and they still occur. But that's one of the problems you run into in game development, and you just have to be calm and deal with it. I wasn't handling it so well because I just tried to put more time into it. Instead, I find it's best to take some time off and just figure out where you went wrong and think about it. But I've just been pouring hours into it trying to get it done because I really wanted to be done with this dev menu so I could start creating my game. Because I figured this system, you'll be able to rapidly iterate on creating a game really fast, but it just didn't work out that way. So that's what I've been up to, and hopefully next week I'll get all these problems fixed. I do got an AI that does work for the most part. He doesn't attack yet, but he does follow the play around. I wanted to switch the pathfinding system to something more complicated because I do want climbing to be in my games, and it is hard to get the AI to jump over stuff. Unity's AI is good for what it's designed to do, but when you try to get it to do something that it isn't designed to do, you have to do a bunch of workarounds, which is what I hate. So I did see a better pathfinding systems, but for now I'm just gonna have to use the Unity AI system. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in anything I'm doing, or you just want to follow the channel, please like and subscribe, and check out my socials in the description down below.